Okay, we're back.
Right.
We have our next guest on the line. He is a Hall of Famer, a 4-time world champion, former undisputed world light welterweight champion, and he's currently one of the best trainers in boxing today. It's an honor and a pleasure to welcome to ATG Radio the Thunder from Down Under, Mr. Kostya Tszyu. Champ, how you doing tonight? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Very good, Champ. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we want to know, how's everything going with you? Where are you at right now? Are you in Russia? Are you in Australia? What's going on with you today?
Okay, I'm back to Australia for a few days to just surprise all my family. I did a very good job on it. No one except me here, and I just come as a good surprise, good morning surprise.
Well, that's great. I'm sure the family is definitely glad to see. I know you're traveling the world. You're traveling 2 world champions now, and Alexander Povetkin and Denis Lebedev. But first, I want to get your thoughts. You know, the boxing world has recently lost one of its all-time greats in trainer and manager, Hall of Fame trainer and manager Emanuel Steward. I wanted to get your thoughts on Emanuel Steward as a boxing great and his recent passing.
It's very, very sad day for all boxing fans of all boxing people. I know Emanuel myself for many years, and it just feels so sad. You can't really put the words behind that sadness because he was a great trainer, and many people look what he did in his career was amazing. So many world champions.
I'm on here also, Champ, with my co-hosts, Tim Kudgis and Michael Doss. So, the guys, feel free to ask the Champ a question.
How are you guys?
Doing good, Kostya. How are you?
Excellent.
My first question is, like Frank mentioned before, you were training Alexander Povetkin. He just had a fight, against Hasim Rahman. Can you kind of give a grade on that? What grade would you give Povetkin in that fight? Do you think that he did everything that you asked him?
First things what we did, we surprised our opponent. He didn't expect us to be so strong and so fast, and that way we did very good job. And we not able to knock him out, but we struck him in the first round, and then referee make a good job to stop the fight. Otherwise, would be very close to be knocked out.
Okay. And let me ask you this: judging from that performance, I know the managers and promoters make the decisions who he fights, but as a trainer, who is a guy that you would really like to see your guy fight? Who do you think would bring the best out of your fighter, Alexander Povetkin?
I think we have 2 champions, big champions, both brothers, Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko. I think that fight will shine Alexander if when we're going to fight and beat them. It would be very, very good opportunity for Alexander just finally be recognized as a good boxer.
And let me ask you this: we talked about Lebedev and we talked about about Povetkin. Is there anybody else that you're training right now? If there is, talk about it.
Denis Lebedev, our best cruiserweight.
Yeah, Lebedev and plus Khabib in the junior welterweight IBO champion, and we're fighting the Guzman. I think on the 30th of November.
Champ, let me ask you this. With these, you're one of the greatest fighters of all time, period. I mean, there's no way around it. Probably, arguably, the best light welterweight champion, 140-pound guy. But as a trainer, we've seen you, take Denis Lebedev and do outstanding work with him. Povetkin is looking crisper than ever. What is it? I mean, are your fighters really taken into the expertise that you have in boxing, that you're having so much success right now? Your fighters are having so much success.
I think the reason behind, I'm analyzing everything I did during my career, and much easier for me as a trainer to have my thoughts what I would do against any opponent who my fighter facing. And psychological, it's a very important aspect of being successful.
I want to ask you one question. I want to pass it over to our other co-host, Tim Kudgis. Your last opponent, Ricky Hatton, he stepped out. He retired after his loss to Manny Pacquiao. He's making a comeback. He's fighting Sachenko next month, and actually in 3 weeks. I wanted to get your thoughts on the comeback of Ricky Hatton.
Look, I never found the reason for myself why should I come back. I was extremely busy my last 5-6 years, and I'm not bored with my life, and that's the reason why I never really want to come back. Even I'm not officially retired, I'm still thinking that I can't find the reason why should I. I enjoy my life, and I don't need this comeback. For Ricky, he probably couldn't find himself after his retirement.
Fair enough. Tim Kudgis.
Hey, Kostya. Pleasure to speak to you. My question is,
how are you?
You were talking about it earlier.
Yes.
With about Alexander Povetkin. What I wanted to talk about was before you were with Povetkin, after the Eddie Chambers fight, he seemed to have digressed in opponents, but has recently picked back up in class of opponents. Now, do you think was it something do you think behind Teddy Atlas that was kind of taking those guys like Taurus Sykes that he was fighting, and then the lower tier heavyweights, or was that more of a decision of Soderlund?
Yeah. It's not my decision either. I think Teddy Atlas did tremendous job in terms of teach Povetkin a new way of boxing. But they had one problem. The language communication was through interpreter, and it's not the best way to teach somebody. That's why they couldn't understand each other the way they're supposed to. In my relation with Alexander is not only I'm a trainer, I'm a good mind of his. His trust is important to me.
Okay, and then my next question is basically based on your career. Out of all the fights that you had throughout your career, what do you feel was your best performance?
I can describe few. It's not one. I had too many good fights. I think one of my best performance against Angel Gonzalez. When he was in his prime, and I was in a good prime, and I just destroy him round by round, and never give him one chance.
You beat the crap out of him, champ. That's what you did. I remember that fight. This trainer had to run in the ring and stop the fight. That was, and at that time, I think at that time, Miguel Angel Gonzalez was a bad dude. He was a tough guy, and that's what it seemed with your career, champ. That you beat these guys that were unbeatable. I mean, I know a million times. I mean, you just had Zab Judah come out and it celebrated, commemorated your victory over him in 2001, I got to ask you a question. Now, look, you know, all due respect to Zab Judah, you know, phenomenal fighter, but how did you get Zab Judah to come to Russia to commemorate you beating the crap out of him for 2 rounds? I have to ask that because, I mean, think about it like this. You know, you've been in wars, and your 2 defeats in your career, you know, you didn't get beat that bad, you know, so nobody, you know, you didn't have Vince Phillips and Ricky Hatton say, hey, Kostya Tszyu, come over to our country and we're going to commemorate us. But you demolished Zab Judah in one of the most embarrassing knockouts in the history. I got all the respect for Zab Judah, but how did you guys get him to come and commemorate that victory? I got to ask you that. That was...
The reason is that Zab is a growing man now. I think I gave him big favor to knock him out that time many years ago, because after that he became very mature fighter, and that's probably when we met each other in Moscow, we had a good talk before officially come to this to see the people, and I was surprised that Zab was, nicely surprised that Zab was so good. And I think I want to repeat it again. I gave him big favor that time, and that's why it's very memorable for both of us. Because if I wouldn't knock him out that time, he will never achieve what he did after my fight.
Oh, fair enough. I'm glad you shared that with us. And, you know, and I got one more thing is I got to congratulate you. You know, you were inducted into the 2011 International Boxing Hall of Fame. You know, I know you've been asked a million times, how's that feel? But, I mean, you're one of the best fighters globally. And, you know, I know you fought here a lot in the United States. And you know, I have always enjoyed your fights. And I just wanted to tell you like this, for you to come on our show and allow us to interview you, it's huge. You know, you're on the level of a Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali type, and that's how great of a fighter you are still. And I know if you wanted to, I've seen you on TV, you know, you're still in good shape. If you wanted to come back, I think you still have what it takes to be a world champ. But, you know, champ, at the end of the day, man, I got to thank you because it's a complete honor as a huge boxing fan to get an opportunity to talk to one of my heroes that really got me passionate about this sport. So, you know, my hat's off to you, champ.
Thank you so much for your words. It's important to me that everything I did in my career, winning the 4 world title, it's nothing compared to the love I'm still receiving from the people all around the world. It doesn't matter where you go. You go to Russia or you go to USA, I still have a good fans. Or Mexico. Even I was big Mexican assassin, I still welcome to the Mexico. It was great feeling about this.
One more question. I didn't mean to stop it there, but you said Mexican assassin. You got Roger Mayweather. Have you had an opportunity to talk to Roger Mayweather anytime recently?
No, I haven't seen Roger for many years. We're probably gonna be catch up if we're gonna still fight. Yeah.
He told me. I see him. I live in Las Vegas.
I'm losing your. Yeah.
Okay, no, I live in Las Vegas and I make frequent visits to Roger Mayweather.
Go ahead.
And I actually asked Roger Mayweather.
Roger gave me a good fight.
He did. He gave you a great fight, but he's the only fighter that he'll really admit that you whipped his ass. Roger Mayweather. He'll say, he whipped my ass. He was a good fight, but he whipped my ass. He'll tell you that. And, you know, he's always one of the best right hands, but he has the utmost respect for you. I just figured I'd throw that in there as well. But anyway, hey,
didn't get.
It was definitely a great fight, champ. I wanted to thank you so much. You know, I know it's your day to spend time with the family. I want to thank you very much for joining us for this show and for giving us this opportunity for this interview. And, as your fighters, come back up, if we can invite you back on for another interview sometime in the future, please.
Okay.
We appreciate that, champ. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
No problem. Anytime. Just give me a call. Thank you.
My pleasure,
Thank
champ.
You,
Thank you so
guys.
much, man. Have a great night. Kostya Tszyu, Hall of Fame, 4-time world champion. Appreciate your time tonight. Have a great night, everybody.